I go from the side. The Death card is inverted, the Knight of Cups is inverted, and the Knight of Swords is upright. Hello and welcome. I'm Carly from Soundsight Studios, and on this channel we talk about all things tarot. Today we're discussing reversed cards. You've probably heard about this concept. If you've ever wondered where did the practice originate, what does it mean, and how do you read a reverse card, this video has your answers. We'll discuss tarot history, I'll teach you how to shuffle, and I'll teach you 3 ways to integrate these types of readings into your spreads. Remember to like and subscribe before we dive in. That's just going to help you be notified when cool videos like this come out. And now, let's go. Why would some people choose to read a card in reverse? Well, when it comes up from your tarot deck and the card is in reverse, if you know how to interpret it and have a good method, it makes the meaning more rich. It can make the card more dynamic. It helps your interpretations take on some new levels of interest. And I'll teach you some of those techniques in a moment. Traditionally, in a lot of books, the way inverted cards are interpreted is pretty negative. And the fact is, that's oversimplified. Having a card come up in reverse does not always mean it's the inverse of the upright card. It's not always the inverse meaning of the upright card. Nor is it always something negative. I'm going to teach you some different techniques here that you can use. And the reason why we do reversals goes back into history. Jean-Baptiste Eliot, who wrote under the pen name Atea, devised a technique for reading cards that was all unique to him, and he integrated inversions. It's the first record we have historically of a tarot card coming up and being read upside down. But he did this because he worked with a 32-card piquet deck. This is basically a playing card deck of 32 cards. He added an extra blank card, making it 33 cards, but in order to get more meanings out of 32 cards, he had to use inversions. And using his system, you could come up with 4,000 different meanings for cards, even though you only had a 33-card deck. We're not going to learn his whole system, but that is where this idea of inversions came from. And that was back in the late 1700s, about 1787, 85, somewhere in there. A pro tip I want to share before we start is that not everyone has to use reversals. So don't feel pressure to integrate this into your reading. It's not a sign of being an advanced or an excellent reader. And secondly, if you do work with reversals, decide before you shuffle your deck if you're going to interpret your cards upright or inverted. That way, you're very clear on your intention and you know exactly what your technique is. Let's learn those techniques now. Step number 1, let's learn how to shuffle our cards. When you're doing reversals, you'll start by taking your deck in 2 and intentionally reversing half. So I turned one side 180 degrees and shuffled it in. You can do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I tend to do it all 3 times. That really comes down to your own preference. And you don't have to start with a deck that's entirely upright. Ooh. See, it's not the smoothest way to shuffle when you have to reverse, but okay. So once your deck is prepared, you'll cut your deck, and what we'll do now is a 3-card spread. One way I love to use reversals is to see what's blocked or flowing. A card that is upright would represent a concept, an energy, an idea that's flowing and moving well. Something that's inverted could represent it's blocked and is not flowing well. So for instance, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'll just look at my own life for the sake of practice. If you're following along, do the same. And always turn your cards over the same way. Whether you flip it this way or this way, it doesn't matter. Just be consistent. I go from the side. The Death card is inverted, the Knight of Cups is inverted, and the Knight of Swords is upright. If I were to interpret these, I would say in my life right now, I'm not going through a major shift or change. So what's ironic is I just made a move out of town, and last week was really tough, and this week I'm feeling very grounded out there and I love it, and I'm feeling very settled. So I agree, I don't feel like I'm going through a big change. That time has passed. Our Knight of Cups, being a hopeless romantic artistic type, maybe blocked right now. I completely agree. Today I'm here in town to work, meet my clients. Even though I'd love to be home writing a book right now, I have to be here in a more logical mindset. So I understand that. And the Knight of Swords, which represents moving quickly, is also very on par for me today, because now that I'm an hour plus outside of town, I had to run in really fast to make sure I was here on time. So today is definitely kind of a fly by the seat of my pants type of a day in order to do my job well. To review this technique, remember what your upright meaning is of the card. And if the card appears upright in the reading, it means that energy is flowing. If it comes up inverted, it means that energy is blocked or not flowing. That doesn't make it good or bad. It just means that it's paused, right? Like it's flowing or not. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, next up. Reset your deck. Give it a good cut. Now we're going to interpret our cards as either being in the subconscious mind or the conscious mind. So when a card comes up inverted, we will say that's something coming from our subconscious mind. When it's coming up upright, it's our conscious mind. Let's check it out. My subconscious mind is experiencing a feeling of being grounded and even celebration. I just talked about this change that I made in my life, and so with that death card, and so it's true. On a very deep level, I'm feeling centered and grounded, and I'm grateful for that. That's the Four of Wands. Then we have the Three of Cups, upright. Consciously, I am taking time to celebrate with friends. I actually have a birthday party I will be going to tonight here in town. So I have it literally on the schedule, and I have to watch my time today to make sure I'm there to be with my friends and celebrate the people I love. And subconsciously, our Three of Swords popped up. So perhaps my subconscious mind is working through emotions. Maybe that's frustration at the traffic when I get into the city. Maybe it's some frustration that I can't just stay out in my small town and work on my book right now. But I can see this, and maybe it's a reminder to calm down and settle a little bit more. So I hope this makes sense. As a quick review, when a card appears upright, it can represent a quality that is on your conscious mind. When a card appears inverted or reversed, it can represent a quality that's present in the subconscious mind. And this can be helpful to understand what your deeper desires or needs are, what's top of mind, and maybe what needs to be discussed or to be brought out to the light from your subconscious mind. Hope that's helpful. All right, technique number 3 is really fun, really simple as well. Prepare your deck, great shuffling practice, which if you need a review on how to shuffle, remember I do have a video teaching you the Tarot Reader's Riffle Shuffle. All right, to make sure to cut the deck. You can cut it anywhere, it doesn't have to be high, low, or directly in the middle. Lay out 3 cards in a horizontal line. For this technique, we will interpret upright cards as qualities that are present. Inverted cards will represent qualities that are missing. Now you may find it easier to change the words and add the prefix miss, un, non to whatever your keyword is for your traditional upright meaning. Let me give you an example. We're going to use the sentence phrase start I am. That is because when you're interpreting cards and trying out a new spread, you need to do it on yourself so that you can verify if it's true or not. So we're going to look at qualities that are present or not present in your personality. Let's dive in. Okay, so I'm doing this on myself as a model. We have the Fool inverted, we have the Hanged Man upright, and we have the Ten of Swords inverted. All right. Upright, the Fool card represents starting a new adventure and being naive. Upright, the Hanged Man represents being patient, making the most of uncomfortable situations, and there's even a quality of consistency and calmness, somebody who chooses to find peace wherever they are. And our Ten of Swords upright typically represents being overloaded, exhausted, even burnt out. So, my Fool is inverted. I would say I am not naive. When I make a jump and I try something new, I really do my best to plan it out, and I ensure that I know how I'm going to take care of myself along the way. The Ten of Swords is inverted. And so part of not being naive like this anymore is in knowing how to set myself up for success, when to ask for help, how to meet my own needs, how to set limits or boundaries with others so that I can protect the energy I have. To review that, I am not naive, though I am adventurous, and I'm not going to overwhelm myself when I know where my limits and boundaries are. This allows me to be more present and patient and commit to things that I know I can succeed at and that I know are nourishing and healthy for me and create peace. If you knew the bigger story of my life right now, you may understand how that fits into everything, but since this whole channel is not about me, I won't go into an autobiography. But I hope this was a helpful demonstration of this technique. So there you have it, 3 different ways to read reversals. I wanted to put these together in one video because they all use the same technique. There are actually some different techniques out there though, that have nothing to do with what you just learned. So practice this, let me know how it goes for you. And if you want to learn those other techniques, add a comment below and I'll make a video soon. There are over 20 different ways to read reversals, and there's probably new ways that are being invented every day. Don't get overwhelmed by all of that. Find what works for you, stick with it, and do a great job with it. In the meantime, like and subscribe so that you can be notified when videos pop up again. Make sure to stay in touch with me by following my socials, and I'll see you next time. Keep up the good reading. Bye.